Okay, I'm going to give a talk on Globex. It's going to be relatively quick because we have a lot to talk about and not much time. So Globex is a property bank. It's a different kind of company, as you'll see as we go forward. If we go forward, oh, there we go. Okay, what I would like you to do as we go forward is focus on the value, because there's a lot of value in the company that is not evident. And I'm just going to be talking about a small fraction of our company and what we have and what we do. So basically, first of all, the business model. And basically, we do anything, it's a business. So we do anything that has the potential of generating revenue. We do precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, base metals, copper, zinc, lead, nickel, and so on, often with gold and silver credits. And then we have a whole series of projects which are specialty metals and minerals, rare earths, lithium, uranium, silica, cobalt, scandium, and so on. And because of all these projects that we have, these projects generate royalties for us. So we have a business of royalties. And I'll go through the actual numbers shortly. So we're a diversified business. We only work in areas of low political risk, basically Eastern Canada, Germany, and the United States. We have a business of option sales, joint ventures, and royalties. And we are lucky we have over $20 million in cash and shares of other companies, including marketable securities, and we have no debt. So that makes us a bit of a different model compared to other companies. So we're a property bank or incubator. Our specialty, if we have one, is to acquire projects when other people are not interested in that particular sector. Then we take those assets, we upgrade them through exploration and intellectual input, and then we generate revenue, which is something really, really odd for the junior mining sector. We make money, and we generate that revenue through options, sales, and royalties. This income means that we have less shareholder dilution, increased exploration expenditure, and less shareholder risk, while at the same time avoiding debt and increasing the value of our portfolio. Just to show you how we've been building up the asset base of the company over the years, currently we have 247 projects. Within that, it actually says 99, but this week we did another property deal, so it's actually 100 royalties currently. The basics of the company: 55.2 million shares out, fully diluted 58 million. The management, basically myself and my wife, we have 12.4% of the company. The board of directors is 3 senior geologists, a mining accountant, and a senior finance professional. We're listed on the Senior Toronto Stock Exchange. We're also on 7 exchanges in Germany and the OTCQX International in the US. One thing I would point out is the 55.2 million shares out. That is at the company after 40 years. We have never done a rollback. Now, we have offices in Toronto and in Rouyn-Noranda. That is our main exploration office. So breaking it down, the 247 projects, 124 are precious metals, 68 are base metals, 55 are specialty metals and minerals, of which 99 royalties. We have 8 active options, which are generating cash, share payments, exploration expenditures, which other companies are doing and taking the risk. And at the end of the story, we end up with a gross metal royalty. Now, I should explain what a gross metal royalty is quickly. You may be familiar with a net smelter. A gross metal is we get paid in the percentage of the metal produced or the mineral, whatever it is. So for example, if it's a gold project that we have a 3% gross and they produce 100 ounces of gold, we end up with 3 ounces of gold, no deductions of any kind. Of our properties, 54 have historical or NI 43-101 resources, and 40 have former mining operations on the properties. Just to show the distribution of the properties, the large map in the center is the Abitibi. The dashed line is the boundary between Ontario and Quebec. The gold stars are precious metal projects that we have. The blue squares are base metal projects. The red stars are critical metals and minerals. The green diamonds are industrial minerals. And you can see that a lot of them are localized on particular structures. Like this is what's called the Cadillac break, and a lot of gold projects on it, or the Porcupine Destor break. Also within certain mining camps like the Joutel mining camp or the Chibougamau mining camp. Now, if you look at the map over here on the top left, that white area is the gray area. And you can see we have projects all throughout the rest of Quebec, in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, as well as in Washington State, Arizona, and Nevada. And last but not least, we have a big silver project in Saxony, Germany. So what are the criteria of our properties? All of our properties have one or more of the following: historical or NI 43-101 resources, drill intersections of economic interest, past production, mineral showings or drill targets, whether they're geophysical, geochemical, or geological, and they're localized in areas where there has been production and there's proven history of mining, things like the Noranda mining camp, Val-d'Or mining camp, Joutel mining camp. We do have projects up in the far north, but a lot of our projects are in established mining camps where you have access to roads, power, labor, and equipment. Just some examples of the kinds of deals, and I'm going to go very quickly through these things. This is a deal that we have now with Agnico Eagle called our Francoeur Ironfield project, just to show you how we make money. The black rectangles are the area that we have the property. Agnico Eagle have the Wasamac property over here. The structure that is on goes through our property, and we have a whole series of former mines, historical mines on the property. So we spent $2 million drilling, doing mapping, doing geophysics, stripping, increasing the value of the property through our expenditures and on property work. And then we did a deal for $15 million over 5 years, and we maintain a 2% gross overriding royalty. We still have another $3 million to receive this year in June, and then another $3 million the next June after that. This is the Joutel mining camp. Over time, we were able to pick up 3 of the 4 mines in the camp when nobody was interested in this area. That's what we specialize. It's going after things that are ignored. So we picked up the Eagle mine, which is a gold mine. We did a deal with a company called Maple. They've done 2 drill programs. They've hit on both drill programs, and they're going to continue working on the project. And we get revenue each year from them. We get cash, we get shares, and they do the exploration. Then we did another deal, all the area that is outlined in blue, with a company called Orford. And they've got a zone over here called the South Gold Zone. They've done 2 programs. They've hit also, they're continuing the option. At the same time, we acquired more ground tying onto that structure, which is a structure that has the Eagle mine in it. And we have some targets over here which we think are high priority, and we intend to be working on that very shortly. We also, at the same time, have picked up the Joutel copper mine, which is open to depth, and the Poirier mine, which is about 2.5 million tons of historical resource already, and lots of exploration potential. So over time, we pick up the assets, we add values, we do deals which generate revenue, which mean our shareholders don't get diluted. Another example, this is a project, it's called Russian Kid or Labyrinth. It's now owned by a Australian company called Labyrinth. There's a ramp, there's 3 levels. There's a historical inferred, actually it's not historical, it's NI 43-101 resource of 3 million tons of 5 grams, so about 500,000 ounces. It's open, they've already been doing more drill programs. We retain a 5% gross metal royalty on the first 25,000 ounces of gold produced and a 3% gross metal royalty on the rest. And they are planning to put this into production. Show you one of our deals that we did recently. We picked up, you see these blue rectangles. These are property up in the James Bay area of northern Quebec. We picked up, this is lithium claims. We have, just in this area here, that package is 19 kilometers long. Plus we have this package over here. We did a deal with a company called Brunswick, a 5-year deal. They went, the very first drill hole, they hit nice intersections, good width, 16 meters of 2.75% lithium oxide, 3.28% lithium oxide over 10.6, and so on. They were so happy with the results that they got and the spodumene lithium that they saw on surface, they paid us the full 5-year option within the first 9 months of the deal, and they're currently doing a very large drill program on this property at the moment. We have a 2.5% gross royalty on that project. This is another lithium project in the Abitibi, owned by Sayona. We have a 0.5% gross metal royalty on it, and we are a 10% holder of another company that has a 1% gross metal royalty. And you can see here, these are the planned open pits by the company Sayona. They've already outlined over 100 million tons on this property already, and they want to mine it. They own a mill nearby. I'm going really quickly. This is the Chibougamau mining camp, and the area in green is the main part of the camp, and we own half of the producers, the former producers, which are copper gold projects in the mining camp. And then we picked up an area with mineralization and lots of geophysical targets off to the west. We've done a deal with the company Tama Gold, where they've optioned this property, the more speculative ground, in a multi-year option, giving us cash shares and work commitments. They're going to carry it forward. And on this part here, they're doing a due diligence. They have a couple months more to complete their due diligence. And at the end, if they want to purchase it, they'll be purchasing it from us for $11 million, well, actually $11.5 million in cash payable over 3 years. Plus, we retain a 2% gross overriding royalty. At the same time, we have this property over here, which is an iron vanadium project called Mont Sorcier. Now, there's 2 zones of iron vanadium that have been outlined, open pittable, over 1 billion tons outlined already. They've done a study, the net present value of $1.6 billion US, post-tax payback 1.8 years, post-tax IRR 43%, cash flow $235 million US. So Globex retains a 1% gross metal royalty on the iron, and again we have a 10% interest in the another company that has a royalty on it, a gross 1% gross royalty on the vanadium. And then Chibougamau Independent Mines has a 2% gross metal royalty. Now, I should point out, Chibougamau Independent Mines, which owns the Chibougamau mining camp, was a spin-out that we gave to our shareholders share for share. So they have shares of Globex, they have shares of Chibougamau, and we have revenue coming in both of those companies. Just to show you some of the potential on the more speculative ground to the west, this is an area that was drilled for zinc. And you can see here, really, really good zinc values. But they ignored at the time, because the price of gold was low and silver was low, but tremendous gold values. It's actually now a gold-silver project with secondary zinc. So very, very interesting. And this is the kind of little treasures that you can find by going into these old mining camps. This is a project that we're working on currently on the Cadillac Break. You see this over here. This area here, these green dots show you the intense drilling over here for the Hosco and Hava mines. We have a 2% net smelter on this ground. We own this ground 100%. And you can see when they hit the boundary, very little drilling, but these drill holes have gold values in it and very good values here. And in this area here, a small gold mine was mined by a incline shaft and 4 levels. So good exploration. We've done mapping, structural studies. We intend to drill here in the spring. This is a more grassroots property that we picked up near Waswanipi. There's 123 meters of 20.8 grams gold cut, or 28.9 grams gold uncut. That uncut meaning any value of over an ounce was cut down to an ounce. You can see lots of very, very good values. We optioned the property to another company. They did stripping, carried it forward. They ended up not being able to continuing work, but they got assays up to 3,310 grams gold over a meter right on surface. You can see here, this is a sample grabbed off surface, and you can see the gold just sticking right out of the ground, out of the rock. And this sample, you can see the speckles of gold through it. That's from that area of 3,310 grams. I know I'm going very quickly. I'm sorry, but it's just so much to talk about. This is an interest that we purchased, a 2% net smelter from another company. It's on a property called Kawagama. It's under option, or actually it's been sold to a company called Radisson, and they're doing a large drill program in this area. They have 3 trends of the gold mineralization. It's continuing to surf down to depth. You can see like 31 grams over 2 meters, 4 grams over 2.9 meters, 17 grams over 2 meters, and so on. Open to depth, open along strike. It's completely open over to the east, where it abuts against a property that we own. So this is the property that we own. The area of the 2% net smelter is this. Then we own this property. This is called the Cadillac Wood, or Wood Cadillac Project. We have 2 former producers on it, and a part of another deposit over right on the boundary. We discovered another small, very high-grade zone. It's 250,000 tons of 17 grams. We're looking at what can be done with it. We've done a study based on mining it over a 28-month period, and we think it's very, very profitable if we can do that. Now, the Radisson ground goes from here to there. We also have a 1% net smelter on the west side of their package. So we have about half royalties and about half of their land position. They're doing the expenditures and carrying things forward. And these royalties and that property are on what's called the Cadillac Break. Each one of these little squares is a former mine. This is another project on what's called the Porcupine Destor Break. Multiple gold zones. There's an NI 43-101 resource done at $960 gold, not 2,000 like today, and outlining 4.17 million tons of 5.4 grams gold. That's cut, or 6.36 grams uncut. So we're talking either cut 727,000 ounces of gold or 853,000 ounces uncut. So we've done a deal with a company called Emperor. The deal is over a 5-year period, $10 million in cash payments, $15 million in shares, $12 million in work, and we retain a 3% gross overriding royalty. Now, Globex retains 50% interest in this project. Another project that is just in the process of reanalyzing a deal that we have on this project with another company called Electro. We've already got 1.6 million tons outlined of copper, zinc, silver, gold. Road is in, power is in, settling ponds are in, even the ramp is started. So a very, very advanced property, and they're looking at carrying this forward to production. Just another example on a splay off the Cadillac Break. This one's in Ontario. A historical resource of 719,000 tons of 8 grams. In this one area, there's a ramp and 5 levels. There's an open pitable deposit with there of 270,000 tons, 3.5 grams. So we're talking 41,000 ounces, a very large property, lots of exploration potential. This is one of our different kinds of thing, not base metal, not precious metals. This circular structure contains scandium, and scandium is a metal that you alloy with aluminum to allow you to weld aluminum. Now, if you want to make something out of aluminum, you have to rivet it. It requires a lot of labor and not that strong bonds. So if you're making a shell of an airplane, for example, you want to have it very, very strong, and light. So if you add a little bit of scandium, you can weld it instead of riveting it. Now, another company over here have 21 million ton deposit outlined, and they're looking to carry that forward to production. They have half the structure. We have half the structure with showings of scandium of the same grade as what they intend to mine on surface on our property. So we're looking for a partner. If we don't come up with one, we're going to carry this project forward ourselves. Germany, we went and we looked, and in Saxony, they're very welcoming of exploration, and they have a history of mining. So we ended up picking up a 35-kilometer long by 5-kilometer property for zinc and silver, particularly silver. We went and studied the historical information and found that there was about $500 million of silver produced from this area. Done all pick and shovel, no drilling, no geophysics, no modern mining equipment, literally pick and shovel. That was done over a 750-year period. So we did a bit of work on the property, and then we optioned the property off to another company. The other company has done 2 drill programs. They've gotten good silver intersections in all these different areas on the property, and they're talking now about spinning this property out to shareholders as a separate German-based company. So I'm going to stop there because I can't talk about the 247 projects. I will mention that we have income currently from our options and our sales. We also have a gold project called Fayolle, which is in production with IM Gold, and quarterly we are receiving checks from production on that property. We also have an aggregate property, which a company called Agrega are quarrying at the moment, and we've received the first payment of $300,000 on that. So in summary, just to go over quickly, the things about Globex that set us apart from other junior companies: we have very few shares outstanding, and we have an experienced board with very, very prudent way of running the company. We have income. We have income from royalties, from options, and now from production. We own our properties. We own everything. We also own our offices, our core facilities, our vehicles, and so on. We have no debt. We have about over $20 million in the bank, more revenue coming in, guaranteed, for example, $6 million from Agnico Eagle, plus from the other deals, like Emperor, we just got paid, Orford, we just got paid. We have no debt. We only work in areas of low political risk, particularly Eastern Canada, United States, and Saxony, Germany, and the board of directors are a specialized board. They're not doctors, they're not dentists. They are 3 senior geologists, a mining accountant, and a senior finance professional. So again, I'd like to invite you to look at our website, see all the assets, because I'm only talking about a very, very small number of them. And I'd like you to focus on the value. If you take it 200, we're trading at about 80 cents Canadian or 60 cents US. At 60 cents US, that's a quarter of a penny per property. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Dankeschön. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the great presentation again, Jag. I think I really loved what you said at the beginning. I even took a note of it. You're basically a property bank. And I think that this really put it in 2 very simple words, the entire investment proposition that you're putting out there to investors. One thing I would like to discuss with you, you're right now very much implemented in Quebec. You discussed the example of what you have done in Saxony in Germany, which is very good. Are you present in other regions? Do you have any plan to expand in either Germany, in either Europe, in either United States, or how does it going on this side?
Well, we've been expanding in the United States. We actually have 3 properties, 3 new properties. We have 5 total. We just announced last week the acquisition of the first surface results from a rare earth property. And we have 2 other gold projects we've picked up that we've done channel sampling, and we're going to make announcements over the next couple of weeks. We are, I'm not going to say the country because I don't want to alert any potential opposition from other companies, but we're in the process of acquiring another advanced gold project in another EU country. It's taken longer than expected to get it. The country is a bit bureaucratic, but once you get your permit, you're able to work. So we are expanding further into Europe at the moment.
Perfect. So I have quite a few questions also from other investors. Most of them are basically, well, not most, but a few are discussing why are the share price maybe undervalued and so on. I don't want to spend 5 minutes on that. It's a general, this is the nature of right now the sector. Maybe something more precise. Globex Mining, is there a perspective for Wood Pandora in sight?
Yeah, we're having some discussions. I mean, there's a number of companies that have approached us that would like to option it. We're not really looking at optioning it right now. What we're discussing is potentially putting the Ironwood project into production, either ourselves or in partnership with another company. I'm not saying that we're going to do that, but that's what we're studying. We've done the initial study that shows that we can mine it out with a ramp in about 28 months. Uh, you ramp into it, blast it, pull it up, and then bring it over to another mill that is nearby that can treat this particular material. And this would be very, very quickly done because it is such a fast operation. We wouldn't have any permanent structures. It would all be done with trailers. And so the cost of this, we have a cost. The cost we could actually, most of it, we could cover with what we have in the bank at the moment. So that's something that we're looking at right now.
Perfect. Could we expect the IPO of Electrometals this year?
Expect the what? Sorry,
The IPO of Electrometals this year, basically the option Maguzi.
I I I don't want to answer that because I don't run the company. It's up to them, not up to me. We're in negotiations right now. The market is difficult. We've helped them. We've reduced some of the terms to allow them to be easier to do their financing. I don't want to talk for another company.
No problem, no problem. And last question from Alfred, which we thank you very much. Is the magnesium talc Timmins project gathering any interest?
We have had interest. We just haven't been able to get to first base on it. We've had a number, particularly of European companies that have looked at it that are in the magnesium section or the magnesite section. Um, uh, I don't know if that's going to go forward. It's a wonderful project. The economics are excellent, but it is a specialty project and yet need the right partner to carry that forward. And we're going to need a couple $100 million to get it going. So that's why we need the partner. All the numbers that have been generated are very, very positive.
Perfect. And lastly, without maybe 20 seconds, are you expecting a rebound in the commodity sector within the next 18 months?
I honestly, I don't know what I'm expecting, but I sure as hell am hoping.
Perfect. Well, that's at least as honest as it comes with Jack. There's always only one way, and it's a way to truth and no BS around. So, Jack, thank you very much for the presentation once again. It's always a pleasure to have you around. We would obviously need at least 2 hours to cover all of your projects. So maybe next time we book you for 2 hours. Let's see that in the next few weeks.
Be my pleasure. Take care.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.